Hello, and welcome to O'side De-Mystified. This is our 5th episode, and I'm your host and Councilmember Rick Robinson. This program is all about taking the mystery out of how your city operates, and what could be more mysterious than our beaches and ocean? If you spend any time at the beach, you can't help but notice that change is an ongoing process. The pounding of the waves, the height of the tides, the temperature of the water, the force of the wind, and so much more that we cannot see or feel creates an environment that is beautiful to behold, desirable for recreation, and easy to relax upon. With all that, there are inherent risks and dangers in the ocean and beach environment. When the risks are high and danger becomes real, it takes a special person willing to risk their lives to save others. Of course, I'm talking about our Oceanside Lifeguards. Today, we will get to hear from the man who oversees the lifeguard operations. We will meet him when we return right after this.
The Oceanside Fire Department is the second busiest department in San Diego County, running approximately 24,000 calls a year. About 17,000 of those are related to rescue or EMS. So if you're looking for experience as an EMT, come look at the Oceanside Fire Department.
My name is Kevin Rankin. I'm a probationary firefighter paramedic with the city of Oceanside.
And my name is Daniel Garcia. I'm a probationary firefighter paramedic.
As an Oceanside EMT, you get to do radio reports, get hands-on experience, and driving as well.
Whether it's a fire, a water rescue, or any medical aid, they make you feel like you're a part of the crew and you're a part of that team.
Thanks to the citizens of Oceanside voting in Measure X in 2019, we have had approximately 40 of our EMTs move on to become full-time firefighter paramedics.
There's no other department like this at all. I couldn't have it any other way.
On May 1st, we're opening up applications for EMT.
Come to Oceanside Fire Department, where you'll get
real experience that matters.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And as I said, when we got back, I was going to introduce you to our lifeguard captain, Bill Curtis. And I met Bill when I first came to work here in the city, and I learned an amazing amount of things about our lifeguards that I didn't know. And I'm glad Bill's here today to share that with you. So, Bill, welcome to O'side Demystified. And if you would you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into lifeguarding, and your career path?
career path. So a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Oceanside. I'm third generation Oceanside. Started my career swimming all the way through high school into college. But my career path kind of changed right after college. My grandfather felt that I was to learn a trade rather than continue swimming. No one made any money swimming. At that time, I think the only person that was making any money swimming was Mark Spitz. For the older generation out there, they know who that person is. So then I went on to work in construction for my grandfather's company, became a journeyman carpenter, worked as a carpenter, but my heart was still into swimming. I got back and started working on the towers, lifeguard towers, in 1991 as an hourly extra help lifeguard, just helping out on weekends when I wasn't working construction sites. That developed into where I started working more full-time hours or longer hours, and one thing led to another, and I worked my career path on up to being the lifeguard captain for the city of Oceanside.
And how long have you been a full-time lifeguard?
Full-time lifeguard, I'm going on 27 years now.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about career opportunities in lifeguarding and what's out there for young people today that might be thinking about getting into the field following your footsteps?
It's an incredible opportunity, not only if you're just looking at going into the EMS portion of a career path, or you want to go into a doctor, becoming a nurse, or an attorney. I've met over 300 kids that have come through our program in the last 34 years. Not everybody goes into being lifeguards because there's not that many opportunities. It's pretty much the opportunity opens up when somebody retires, is being a lifeguard. But most of our kids, high school and into college, they work the summer times, and they're developing what their career paths might want to look like, whether it is going into being a nurse, a doctor, lawyers. We've got 3 Navy SEALs now that have gone on. So it's not necessarily that lifeguarding is going to direct you into being a firefighter or being a medic. It's going to direct you in the career path. I think you as a child or a person growing up is going to want a career path you're going to want to look towards.
It can set you up. The disciplines you learn are good to help you in a number of career paths.
Oh, exactly.
What is to become a lifeguard? What's the testing process? If someone was interested, what do they have to prepare? How should they prepare?
Definitely you want to do a lot of swimming. Build yourself up in the swimming portion of it, because our waters or our beaches, you've got to be able to swim quite a good distance because of where our impact zone is or where the waves break at. So you've got to be able to get there in an ample amount of time. So build yourself up in the swimming portion of it. Definitely want to start running also. But our tryout consists of a half-mile run, swim around the pier, and then another half-mile run under 27 minutes. So it's pretty elaborate, but if you think about what you're asking these individuals to perform, rescues the length of the pier, our jetties. So Oceanside's got a diverse dynamics as far as our beaches go or structures. So we require a lot out of our individuals or our lifeguards.
And I've been out there when they're doing their testing. I've had a chance to watch them. And it doesn't always have to be for young. Age isn't really a factor. We've had people of all ages apply and become guards for you. Is that correct?
Oh, correct. I mean, if I look at my career, I started when I was 31 years old. And here I am now. I'm running a department that is recognized nationally as far as for our abilities. And the individuals we send out into the careers, their opportunities.
Well, you talk about your department. Can you describe the Oceanside Lifeguard Department or division a little bit? And what are your responsibilities? Some of the things about the number of personnel.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that.
Well, we came in underneath the Oceanside Fire Department in approximately 2009. We were underneath the harbor and beaches before that. When we were brought under the fire department, we are now a division of the fire department. So in our division, we have all beach operations. We just took over the harbor operations also. So the beach operations consists of everything from our lifeguard towers. We have our personal watercrafts, all of our wave runners. So we have 5 of those that we operate. We have the boats that we operate as far as on the lifeguard division side of it. And then we have every type of facet of water rescue you could imagine. So swift water. We take care of the city swiftwater rescues.
What is swiftwater for those that may not know?
When
would you do that?
I think the swiftwater, anytime it floods. So when the rains come, we're pulled off the beach pretty much, and we are in trucks and we are out running around on our city streets. So if an intersection floods or we have a river or one of our creeks goes over its banks, floods out, we've gone into the trailer parks, rescuing individuals out of their trailers when they flood out. That's the other division as far as the lifeguards do. We come off the beach. And then we also have the city's dive operations. We do all dive recovery and rescue portions for the city also for scuba. And that dynamic is incredible also. Our divers are all certified as public safety divers, fully encapsulated with comms. So it's not just the tower guards. We kind of swing the pendulum all the way the other way, too, for the professional types of water rescue.
And I know you come under the fire department, so I know your lifeguards work with our firefighters every day, our firefighters and paramedics. All of your career lifeguards are EMTs, emergency medical technicians, so they do respond to medical aids off the beach. Is that correct?
Correct. We do all medical responses from Pacific Street all the way to the water line. And it helps out our visitors and our residents because let's just say there's a train has blocked an intersection. Our emergency response technicians are getting to the individuals on Pacific Street prior to the engine companies are getting there. And what that's also doing is doing an incredible turnover for our EMTs are turning over to the paramedics. So the response times on the city side is incredible. We're also working in our new harbor division, so we're into 5 months into that. We actually have a full-time paramedic firefighter that's working with the 2 lifeguards 24 hours on the boats.
And that's a new concept that hasn't been done.
Hasn't been done anywhere. So we've got other areas, LA City, LA County, that are looking at pretty much the format that we've put together to see how this is working out. And it's working out incredible.
Good. And you work with our law enforcement. Your lifeguards also work with our law enforcement, helping them if they need assistance, correct?
Oh, yeah. We're kind of like the eyes and ears on the beach. So if the staff starts to see things starting to develop, we can let the police department know. But then our working relationship with the police department is incredible also. It's not too many times that a 16-year-old kid in a tower can actually have a personal relationship, conversation with a police officer that's not feeling challenged or on that challenging part. Oceanside Police has done an incredible job the last couple of years changing that dynamic, the personal relationships with the youth. And I think it's shown off to our employees also that they get to talk and work with the police department.
And I think we've had lifeguards that have gone from lifeguarding into the law enforcement, either here or others, and same into fire and paramedics.
Yeah, actually, when I started with the lifeguard division, I actually started working with Fred Armijo, and those who remember Fred, he went on to becoming the police chief for the city of Oceanside.
Yeah, we interviewed Fred in our second session in here, and he talked a lot about being a lifeguard, so thanks for bringing that up. Hey, real quick, what's it cost to run the lifeguard division, budget-wise? I know we had our budget manager talking about all that, but just people might be curious to know, what does it cost to run our lifeguard program?
Well, we have 85 hourly extra help employees that we're supporting, 18 lifeguard towers we're supporting, 4 vehicles on the beach with 2 command vehicles, so a total of 6 vehicles, 1 boat, 5 PWCs, and 11 command staff for a grand total of $2.7 million.
Okay.
And then if I add the harbor in there, we're looking at another 2.5 for the boating and the full-time staff down there.
And PWCs are personal watercraft.
Yeah, the wave runners you see on all of our, inside the surfing.
I wanted to talk just a little bit about the harbor model, and you said it's only been going now for 5 months. Any successes to talk about, or can you talk about how that is organized? How does that shape up?
It's transformed into more of a water rescue outlook on things and medical. So we're doing a lot of walking the docks and talking and getting to know the slip runners. What we're finding out now that is that the pendulum's kind of switched the other way, where they're looking at more enforcement now. So we're 5 going on 6 months now, like I said, into this program. So we've got the boating operations and the water rescue and that safety looked at. So now we've got to start looking at what type of the enforcement is it that we're going to really start pushing.
And you talked some about some of the facilities. So if people come down to the beach, what would they see? What would they, if you're standing up there on Pacific Street looking down at the beach, where would the lifeguards be? Where would we see them?
In those little blue houses out on the beach. Right. Like I said, there's 18 of them. They're strategically placed as to what type of crowds we get. You'll see more in one location because that's where most of our crowd shows up. So we'll staff that area up.
From when to when? From what time?
We start at 8 o'clock. So most of the towers, they'll all be open by 10 because then we start doing all of the beach regulations, enforcements by 11 o'clock. So whether or not we're moving swimmers in the swimming area and we're pushing surfers into the surfing area. And then most of the towers will stay open till 5, but we close at dusk.
Wow. How about that big tower on the pier? Is there anybody in there?
Oh, yes. That tower that's halfway out the pier, it's got the glass windows all the way around it. That's our dispatch tower. There's 2 guards up there, starting once they come on at 8 o'clock and they're off at dusk. They run all of our radio communications and support for the lifeguard towers.
And then your headquarters building is at the base of the pier, right?
Correct. We're underneath the concrete portion of the pier.
What's going on with that? Can you share a little bit with what the plans are?
Well, I think we're 2.5 going on 3 years now into a study for the concrete portion to be replaced. I think they've identified that, and we'll be coming to council with that proposal. I'm sure by the end of next month. For the next phase I think we're going to start looking at whether or not we're going for a rebuild or complete tear down and
maybe relocate you. But right now, that's where your office is, and all your full-time staff all operate out of that.
Out of the lifeguard headquarters.
Definitely needs a rebuild, I think.
Yeah, we moved in there. It was built in 1927.
Yeah. When the ceiling falls on your desk, that's time to move. So I did want to talk a little bit about, while we go through this, is some of the technologies that you've seen in your career time. What technologies are new, or what's helping change the way lifeguards lifeguard?
Definitely response. We're looking at how can we get somewhere, especially as crowded as it is, quicker and get eyes on. We've developed a pretty good camera system now from a lot of the high rises to where if we get a call, let's say at the harbor entrance, we can actually put cameras on it to get eyes on rather than waiting for a unit to get on there and actually get personnel out onto the end of the jetty. So that can take like 8 to 10 minutes to get a actual eyes on to where we can, in less than 10 seconds, we can actually open up and look at what's going on. Is there a boat on the rocks? How many people are on the boat? Are they in the water yet? So as far as the electronics, the development on that, definitely on the boating side of it, the radars, sonars, used to be your radar, it was a fish finder, you could beep the little beeps off the bottom, you could see how deep it was. Now we have different types of, on our boats now, we have side scans to where almost everything looks 2D, if not 3D, when you're looking at stuff on the bottom. So you can identify stuff a lot faster than actually putting a diver in the water and waiting for that. The electronics in our diving systems, that our divers can talk to each other without being hooked up comm to comm. I know a lot of you, how do you talk through the water? But it happens and you can do it. So, and then the drones are incredible. What we can do with them, what we've been able to see in the water is just incredible. The fire department has a drone actual program. We have operators on the fire side and on the lifeguard side. Right. So we have drones stationed down at the beach so we can launch the drone and get them down into areas to where, like I said, we can't get trucks down there, especially as crowded as it's getting. So that's where I've seen the biggest developments come, and I think is electronically. It used to be, and believe it or not, up to 2 years ago, we had rotary dial phones in our towers. Right. And that was, I think, a big learning curve. We had one whole 8-hour session of teaching kids that you had to put the dial all the way, it had to go all the way around and let go of it before.
Don't let your finger fall out of the zero.
Before the call would go through. Yeah. But now we've gone all to handhelds, so it's all electronic that way too. So I think that's the biggest development I've seen.
Great.
Street Pool, our mission statement is to enhance the community's life through aquatics.
The city of Oceanside is now hiring for aquatic positions. I became a lifeguard because when I was little, I used to swim at this pool.
I wanted to be more involved with the aquatics community.
I enjoy teaching people how to swim. It's rewarding.
We have a lot of people here who either haven't swam before to people who are in college swim teams. It is such a great community we have here.
Here at the Brick Street Swim Center, we offer adult swim lessons, children's swim lessons, water aerobics, master swimming, surf lessons, synchronized swimming, pretty much anything as far as aquatics you can name, we offer it. It's a great place to come and hang out.
The best part about being a lifeguard is being a part of the legacy of Oceanside. You get to be outdoors, you get to engage in the community, and it's a fun job.
If you're ready to make a difference while being outdoors in a fun and dynamic environment, we're ready to hear from you.
Apply today.
You know, we talk about types of calls and things that, especially I'm kind of focused on our tower guards right now, but what kind of things do they do? I know we think, oh, they run into the, if you watch Baywatch, you know, they're running into the water and stuff. But what other things do our lifeguards do?
Their biggest focus is to prevent things. And I think that's a biggest difference that we have from a lot of areas or a lot of professions. We can see things start to develop, but we want to prevent it before it happens. There's a lot of concepts out there. If you have to make a rescue, then you failed. You should have prevented it before it got to that point. So you will see these guards out of those towers a lot, running down to make preventions, moving people out of areas or into areas. So that's our biggest focus is preventions. But when they do have to react, like I said previously, our guards are trained and physically fit to get to that rescue when needed.
I've heard stories where they've literally rescued dozens of people at one time due to bad rip currents, things like that. Have we had those kind of?
Yeah, actually just last week we had a little taste of a north swell or a south swell started rolling through. Water has warmed up, so which automatically puts people into the ocean. And then the swell started coming in. And it was right during the transition from low tide going to high tide, so the water level was starting to rise. So when the swell came in, the water rised, and it started picking people up. South side of the pier, we had 8 lifeguards in the water in less than 3 minutes making rescues because everybody got pulled out into the ocean or out further off past the surf. So yeah, it just happened just this last week.
So that kind of gets into a little bit about the number of people that you have on the beach, and you know that Oceanside isn't just a summer beach town anymore. Would you say it's a year-round beach town?
Oh, we've become a destination town. If you look at the dynamics and what we've built downtown, people are coming here because of our ocean, because of our beaches, because of what has been built downtown. We've got a lot of people are coming from Arizona, Utah. So we'll see our school year. Sure. That's what we used to call as our summer. Oceanside Unified School District, they're in school or they're out of session or out of school. That was our season. But now we're year round. We've got, like I said, Utah, Arizona. We're seeing schools coming out here from Texas now. So we have become a year-round destination.
So one of the questions I've always wondered, and this fits into one of the mysteries I think here, is we get beach attendance estimates every day. How do lifeguards estimate the number of people that are on our beaches or in our water?
Actually, the guards actually make counts. Each lifeguard tower will take a count on their beach 3 times a day. So they'll take their morning crowd, their lunch crowd, and then evening they'll do another number. And those averages, when they put those 3 numbers together, is what our total beach is. Because you look at the beach and it usually turns over 3 times a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can watch the crowds change. So you'll get your people that will come down, they'll be there all day. They'll camp out all day. But you'll have your morning sessions, the mid-afternoon, and then the evenings.
Oh. I always wondered if that was accurate, but it sounds like it's pretty accurate.
Well, now with this new technology, we're looking at
cameras.
The cameras starting to do recognizing. They won't recognize faces, but it'll be a difference between a person that's walking on 2 feet as opposed to an animal or something moving around.
Don't have animals on our beaches, Bill?
Seagulls. Okay, birds.
All right. We have the time. I want to make sure we cover our junior lifeguard program because I know you're very proud of that program. And as a resident, I'm very proud of our junior lifeguard program. Would you tell our audience a little bit about our junior lifeguard program and
Oh, absolutely.
what you get out of that?
I took it to heart back when I first was a junior lifeguard, and that was actually in the mid-'70s, early 70s. And meeting the lifeguards that were down here at the time was just incredible in what they taught us. So as I worked my way up through my career, watching what the junior lifeguard program was developing into, I felt that there was more that we could add to it. So we expanded. It has become pretty much its own division under the lifeguards. We have grown to having 1,000 kids for the 4 weeks that we have them. Actually, it's up to 8 weeks now, so we have 4 sessions. In the last 2 years, that program has sold out in less than 6 hours.
Wow.
So it's got that popular. We're looking at doing a hold for the Oceanside residents only to see if we can get that dynamic in there. But what we found is that this last registration, 78% of it was all Oceanside.
Oh, really?
The other percentage was out of county. But when we look at the dynamics of our lifeguards, because I look at this program as my feeder for my employees. So as they work their way up through junior guards, what an incredible way. You've already got kids that are potentially all the way trained to be in the lifeguard. All we need is their driver's license, so to speak. But then what we see is I look at my dynamics now as lifeguarding, my current employees, it's almost 80% outside of county that my employees are. Huh. So I don't know. We got to look at that dynamic again. I don't know if it had something to do with but now that we have the William Wagner pool, our swimming program is going to get stable here in Oceanside. And that's what we're hoping, that the career paths and everything for our swimmers in Oceanside, it's going to develop even better.
So the junior guard program, what's the age range?
We start at 9 years old, and then we have them all the way up till they're 16.
So that kind of got to one of the questions I was going to ask you. And we've talked about this before, that you take 16-year-old young men and women, and the one thing I just want to comment about lifeguarding is it's an equal opportunity for men or women. You've got a great, I think, mix of employees, right?
Oh, absolutely. And our litmus paper is the ocean.
Yeah.
If you can't handle the ocean, then that's where
it doesn't matter,
comes
male
out
or female.
Oh, exactly.
So, but you take these 16-year-old kids and you put them in a tower, and they're able to deal with some difficult situations. And I think you say a lot of that's due to the junior guard program.
Oh, absolutely. We start their structuring, like I said, at 9 years old. When the kids start developing whether or not they like this career or this is something that they're really interested in. By the time they turn 13, 14 years old, the kids have decided, and those of you that have teenagers will know, they've decided they know everything and this is the direction they're going to go. If we can hold on to them through that 13, 14, 15-year-olds and they keep going towards the lifeguarding, you've got incredible children. I mean, the kids that we've developed out are just unbelievable. And we hire at the age of 16, where most agencies hire at 18. But we think that age of 16, we've got some pretty good kids.
So I think I told you this 30 minutes is going to go really quick. So we're getting near the end. So I got a couple things I want to make sure I give you a chance to talk about. One is general safety tips for people coming to the beach, or what are some things they should do?
Let's start off with learn to swim. I mean, today I think is the beach is Awareness Day for drowning. Number one killer of kids. So let's start with getting out there and learn how to swim. There's so many opportunities at the swim pools to learn how to swim. If you come to the beach, go near a lifeguard tower. Ask that lifeguard, hey, where can I go? Where can I swim? Read the signage that's out there to help the public. And then by all means, stay together. Those are probably the three big things I could.
Good. And use sunscreen. Lastly, I want to make sure we get this in, and this is one of your lifeguard lieutenants who's been around, and I have a great respect for. But tonight we're going to go to the Padre game, and he's going to be recognized. You want to tell us a little about who I'm talking about? Tyler
Berry, one of our lifeguard lieutenants. He made an incredible rescue this last November off the pier. He went after somebody that had gone in the water. Decided that things weren't going in the direction that they wanted it to. Well, Tyler was able to intervene and save this person's life. He went down to the bottom, found her at the bottom of the ocean, ended up rupturing his eardrum, bringing her to the surface, but gave that individual the opportunity to change their life. And Tyler's being recognized tonight. The Padres have recognized him as Lifeguard of the Year. Yeah. So he will be on the field receiving that tonight at the Padre game.
And you and I will both be in the stands.
Absolutely.
Well, I just want to thank you again for coming here into studio and joining me and demystifying some of the things about our lifeguard program, our beaches. And again, Bill, I want to thank you for your service to our city. And thank you again for being here.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
We're learning today about the Recycle Smart website, greenoceanside.org. It's the place to go to learn how to recycle right in Oceanside. Single-use plastic utensils, like plastic straws, they are not recyclable. They go in the landfill bin. Use reusable straws instead. Still have questions? We've got you covered. The city's Green Oceanside campaign is committed to sustainability in partnership with Waste Management.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
I hope you learned something today about our beach environment and the special people who work every day to keep us safe. When you think about it, there is no better value in entertainment and relaxation than is offered at our beaches. Our lifeguards are there to prevent bad things from happening and to keep the beaches and harbor safe. And if needed, they will respond into that unpredictable and often unforgiving ocean to save those in need. If you have any suggestions for topics or questions for any of our guests, text them to me at 760-216-7587 or visit OsideD2.com. Until next time, remember that O'side is a great place to live, work, and recreate. Don't make it a mystery. I'm your Councilmember Rick Robinson.